All right, let's begin. Thanks for being here. So as we connect to our breath, perhaps today we can start with the gentle releasing of the ribs. So as the ribs release and respond to breath, do we feel that expansion as a byproduct? So instead of us doing expansion, we're releasing, yielding, and expansion occurs. And feel the shoulders relax. We'll begin with two rounds of Uddiyana. I'm going to set these up in shoelace, but I know shoelace isn't everyone's preferred starting place. So I'm going to go shoelace right over left. You could go cross-legged right over left if that's gentler on your knees. Straight away, beginning with one deep rib yielding inhalation. Hold breath. Allow the hips to soften. Bring torso to hinge forward. Hands can go anywhere, beside you, in front of you. Exhale everything out, and let's keep the feet active as we do. Remain empty, feet stay active, pull back through the littlest toes, and draw the belly, draw from the perineum. So find perineum. Hey, perineum, do I know you? Do you move? Low belly. And release. Resume Ujjayi breath. I'll tell you, from whatever we did, the stuff that we did yesterday, even my Uddiyana is going quite a bit differently. So it's fun to put these days together in proximity. All right, I've switched the cross of my shoelace. I'm left over right. And here goes our second round, Uddiyana. Let the ribs yield. The rib muscles kind of acquiesce to the breathing motion. Hold the breath. Settle and soften through the sit bone and the hip crease. pitch the torso forward. Place the hands anywhere beside or in front of you. Swift, thorough exhalation. Remain empty. Draw belly in and back. Releasing when you're through. Resuming Ujjayi breath. Okay. I'm going to go through the legs and the hips once more. And this classic seated spinal twist. Where we've got the left leg on the ground and the right foot firm to the floor. This is my right knee that points up. It's my left knee that points forward. Perfect. And we're just twisting over the right thigh. So for more mild twist, hook the arm around. Prop up vertically. For much more of that twisty twist, hook that elbow over the thigh on the outside part of your thigh. So the twist can help us start to feel into the rib muscles, underneath the rib muscles, into the spine and the organs. Remembering, we can let each and every one of these poses move us into this interior terrain, if you will. All of our landscape, our interior landscape, is contoured differently, textured differently, and I'm sure you even feel this day to day, hour to hour. And release to switch sides. So this is my left knee pointing up toward the sky. Position your foot so that we're getting both the sit bone on the ground and the sole of the foot contacting the ground, the whole sole of the foot. So here we go, twisting to the left, tracking with our breath. Because our breath will help us comb through the physical experience of the body in this position, right? The mechanics, the pressures, the forces, the torsions. It'll also help us perceive more subtly those smaller, more whispering fluctuations. I find that emotions can move in this subtle current or fluctuation way. Our thoughts can kind of have a subtle fluctuation way. We can't quite tell where in the body they might be, but regionally. But there's still a quality of movement that we can detect in that subtle stuff, like inner talk and visualization and emotions and energies, right? And release. When we unwind, we'll lie back, and we're just doing a round of twisted root abs. So once we lie, we'll cross the right knee over the left again. So legs are getting a lot of crossing. Optional, hook right foot behind left calf. Inhale, picking the head just barely off the ground, just enough to create a little abdominal engagement, which helps guide the breath into the back. And then exhale, just start to press and turn the thighs one into the other. Pardon me. Drawing the low belly down. We'll do a couple more. Inhale. And exhale. Pull low belly down. Inhaling into the low back. And exhaling. As you press, can you articulate or even find the tailbone? How does pressing into the thighs help you feel into the hip crease? Is your thigh bone rotating a bit differently after yesterday? And then draw the low belly down. Okay. And when we inhale the head down to the ground, stack your hands on your right thigh, exhale. Lengthening the low back by shifting the tail up, the hands press the thighs, draw the thighs toward the hands, pull low belly down. Let's do one more, inhale, and exhale. Tailbone moves toward the sky, which lengthens the low back, the thighs press the hand press the thighs, draw the low belly down. And release, inhale, unwind. And as you're exhaling, just set the feet down. Here goes the other side. We're crossing left over right. For that stuff that we did yesterday, we were kind of getting into the QL a little bit. I find it's really helpful with these ever so slightly asymmetric poses, like this twisting root abs that we're doing. If you have back issues, sometimes it's really nice to start with your feet on the wall and then do the cross, and to be able to leave the foot or something touching the wall firmly, so that your back, you can track when one side maybe shortens up or one side moves. It can be a really interesting mind-body connection to feel the low back shortening or lengthening. All right, here we go. Inhale, the head, the shoulder blades up. Exhale, thigh press thigh. The pressure creates a little rotation. Then curling the tailbone, draw the low belly down. Inhale. And exhale, the tailbone shift. The thighs press one into the other. Draw the low belly down. Inhaling. And exhale. Inhale, set the head down. Stack hands on left thigh. Last couple, exhale. Thighs press hands, hands press thigh. So a lot of this will start to get into the deep hip crease, the inner portion of the hip crease. Pull the low belly down. Last one, inhale. And as you're exhaling, the thigh pressure creates a little internal rotation. So you might feel this in the deep outer hip or the deep inner hip crease. Pull the low belly down. And that's that. Inhale, unwind. We'll set up for bridge. Kind of unwind this hip crease area. This is not essential for you, but I'll describe what I'm doing. I'm placing an object between my legs for bridge. And I'm going a little bit more I'm putting the block the skinny way. Again, you don't have to do this. You could just set up bridge the way that you want to without a prop, with a prop. But by setting the block the skinny way, I've brought my legs together and I'm mimicking a bit more that Virasana that we've been doing over the several days. And on exhale, your exhale, kind of lengthening the back as we bring our way up into bridge. And feel for breathing within that low belly, inside the low back. I really get the sense that it's when breath can contact so many of these bodily areas that often we find a shift in the quality of effort that we're exerting or expressing through our bodily structure. So letting breath touch these areas. How do we let the breath touch the areas? Well, sometimes we have to do the quote unquote work of discovering and uncovering these areas. Letting that breath roll up into the rib cage. And we'll ease our way down out of bridge. Let's set up for dolphin. And we'll be working just the usual form of dolphin. We're pressing our knees off the ground. Just moving in on exhale whenever you've got that set up. So I was referring earlier to being able to sense the shortening or the lengthening of the low back. And so finding out now, can you feel, does the left side and the right side of the low back lengthen? And one of the things we've been building on is softening the belly. Now, sometimes, if I don't know if I'm softening the belly, I'll bend the knees in a pose like this, like dolphin, bend the knees. And often bending the knees significantly, almost like you're resting your torso near your thigh, you'll be able to find a softer belly. Why would I want a soft belly? Well, one, the reduction of tension, to discover tension. And then two, increase sensitivity when things are soft and resilient and flowing. Often, my sensitivity for that area, so my mindfulness, heightens. There's more granularity in the place that I'm feeling having softened. Like there's more texture, there's more detail. And with that texture and that detail, why would I want all this texture and detail in my about my body? Well, the more we map and the more that we're willing to say, yes, I feel, yes, I see that. Yes, I want to know that. We open up to a much broader spectrum of human experience. All right, that's plenty. Let's set the knees down. And as we're exiting dolphin, we'll move to standing. And we're working twisting horse stance. So we'll separate the legs out fairly widely. The hands are on the thighs. Inhaling from the perineum. Through yielding ribs, and then exhaling as the left hand presses, allow the ribs to continue moving and yielding with breath. So a kind of biological movement is when we exhale, the ribs kind of move down and move together. And when we inhale, they tend to yield expansively. And you'll be able to feel, am I breathing, initiating from the diaphragm? Am I breathing and initiating the breath from the muscles of the chest or the ribs? In fact, now is probably a really good moment to experiment, to inquire, where am I initiating my breath? Could I tell the difference in initiating breath from the diaphragm? Could I feel if I'm initiating breath from the muscles around my lungs? It'd be like the rib muscles and the neck muscles and maybe the shoulder and back muscles. So just feeling that out in your body, can you tell from where your breath arises bodily? Some of you may have a more esoteric answer, and that's perfect. We'll switch sides. Inhale, come back centrally. And then exhaling, press the right hand, twisting slightly left. And inhaling when we unwind, we'll stand. And I actually want to follow up on a pose from yesterday. So let me remind us. It's a hybrid move of a Galavasana prep, where I have my ankle atop my thigh, but I'm also using the wall like I do in shower. So standing about 3 feet from the wall, across ankle over thigh, and I'll crouch a bit so that my ankle can remain atop the ledge of my thigh. And having slid my hands down, I'll start to reach the sit bones back. So if you have a little wall spot, go ahead and find it. The nice thing about this, it's very forgiving if you don't have a wall spot. You can do it on a lower couch arm level, so you could do it with a chair. Your torso will simply be pitched in a different direction. I'll show you from this side too. And with this move here, can you feel the abdomen softening? I would say, let's soften through the abdomen first and allow that softness to enhance our sense capacity for all of the hip. So my observation, my sense, this is an editorial, is that when the abdomen is clenched, we often reduce our sensing capacity for the hip, for the groin, for the organs, for the diaphragm. So softening the belly is just such a beautiful thing we can do for the sensitivity of our entire body. Sweet, let's switch sides. So this time we've got the left ankle atop the right thigh. And you may have to adjust your distance from the wall, so don't hesitate to wiggle a little bit back And just like shower, I'm feeling for each sit bone, kind of reaching back. And this is all within the caveat of the belly softens. And when we release, since it looks like we've all got a wall spot, we'll do downward dog on the wall. Now, if you don't have a wall spot, maybe you'd be content to work downward dog with us or turbo dog. So if we've got that wall spot, we go. Heels near baseboard. And I'm recreating all of that shower move. My abdomen is soft, breathing, yielding. My arms are pressing. I feel my sit bones lifting back. And then we can step up. Now, after all that belly softening, you may still need to kind of add in a touch of support. You may need to kind of feel like you're drawing those low ribs in, but just slightly. There's a delicate balance between how much to yield and how active to be. We get a lot of support when we're active. We get a lot of circulation when we're active in our body. We get a lot of mind-body connection, mind-muscle connection when we're active. It builds nerve. It builds, nerve conductance. Those are really valuable skills to be both active and to be very yielding and supple. That's wonderful. That's great. Let's step down from there. We'll move back to our working place. And standing at the top of mat, we'll move through some suns. Inhale, drawing the arms up. Exhale, fold. Feel how the ribs kind of move together as the trunk hangs down, the neck can hang down. Lunge, inhale, left foot back. Place the hands down, exhale, step right foot back, and we lower. Cobra, inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Lunge, inhale, left foot forward. Hands to ground, exhale, right foot forward, fold. Inhale, stand, draw arms up. Exhaling, hands to heart. Let's go through about 3 more, and if you move a little faster or slower than I am, that's wonderful. Inhale, draw the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right foot back, lunge. I'm going to alternate each side. Hands to ground, exhale, step back, lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right foot forward, lunge. Exhale, hands to floor, step forward directly into fold. Inhale, stand, draw the arms up. Exhaling, hands to heart. Since we're all familiar with this, let's do the last 2 on our own. So I'll do them with you, but I won't say them with you. Feel the breath originating and emanating from body. Sometimes we're breathing and our mind is actually a little bit outside of our body. We remember that all of this movement is to help us find what is under our nose, literally inside our body under our nose. And then at the conclusion of just those 4 suns, I just want to appreciate how already the state of body has already started to change quite a bit. All right, let's continue. Chair pose. Inhale, bend knees, reach arms up. Exhale, fold, softening through the underside of the skull. Monkey. Inhale, collar lifts away from lap. Exhale, step or lightly jump back, chaturanga. Moving into upward dog. Please, you can choose cobra if you need to. Exhaling, downward dog. Warrior 1, inhale, right foot forward. We're moving into eagle and warrior 1. So the arms. Exhale, left elbow over right. Now, if you love it, there's a little variation here where you can raise the elbows a tad. You can rest the head in the crook of the arms. And this would be just as a way of getting into the back of the neck tissue. There's all sorts of muscles and ligamenture that kind of goes up through the back of the scalp. It's a really nice place to practice feeling your breath. So no matter the head position, can you breathe into the back of your brain? Is that an area of body that you can feel flowing, moving, or stagnating? Is it dense or light? Is it dark or is it brilliant? I release the arms and let them hang down. Just let them hang down. Let the sockets feel soft for a moment. Inhale, place the hands down. Exhaling, chaturanga. Step right foot back and lower. Inhale, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. We'll do that eagle, warrior 1. Inhale, left foot forward. We're exhaling, hooking the right elbow over the left. I just want to continue on this brain journey. My senses is that when we get into these poses like so, where our eyes can kind of look out a little bit, sometimes our looking out actually has the embodiment result of us moving out of our body. It's subtle. I'd encourage you to just kind of test it, play with it, and find out what you're doing. But something really cool when I breathe and feel for the back of my brain, there's no mistaking if I'm in my body or if I'm slightly detached. Right? That slightly detachedness, it's okay, but it's going to be more challenging to do the body work of somaticizing and embodying these qualities of consciousness, right? Consciousness must come through some vessel, some apparatus, some lens, and we, our bodies, are that lens. The more well understood and intuited and investigated our body, the greater chance we have of expressing and sensing those qualities of consciousness very clearly, unobscured. So we'll release the hands from the eagle. Inhaling them down to the ground. Exhaling, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. And with our downward dog, bending the knees to soften the belly might prove beneficial to help you sensitize feeling the guts, the back, the spine. It's such a simple move, but it has broad ramifications through our organs, our tissues, our low back, even into our shoulders. It really deeply can reach into the upper back and the shoulders. So it's a pretty sweet way of feeling the flowing yieldingness of the internal gut area. All right. So we're going to take a pyramid. Inhale the right foot forward. If you use blocks for pyramid, grab them. Pyramid is straight legs. And once again, just like our shower, I'm feeling the sit bones reaching back. Now I choose a block height, pretty high up, that lets me relax the belly. Now if I still can't get a good oh, my belly's so soft and it's hanging, it's yielding, it's relaxing, what I can do is I can take my pyramid over to the wall. This is a beautiful way to treat our belly to more softness. So we're getting a lot of support from our palm push. We're getting all of that shower lengthening and traction. Okay. So I just want you to know there's lots of options. I know that the soft belly is working for some of us. Sometimes when I get my hands on a wall, I can better sense where my sit bones are. So lots of ways to help us feel through not only the core, but down to the low back, the sit bones. I bend the right knee, opening up the stance for ostrich. The stance is a warrior one stance. So opening up means I'm gonna have to move my feet apart, give myself a broader base, interlace the hands, and moving on exhale, your exhale will hinge forward, bringing the torso just inside the thigh. So I hope you're kind of feeling and getting how the softness of abdomen, do you notice how it also contributes to feeling a lengthy torso, a torso whose organs have lots of room to relate and slide and glide. So my soft belly and ostrich doesn't just crumple me up into a ball. but it helps to lengthen my trunk away from the thigh. Yeah, that's it. There's some good ostriches. And releasing by inhaling the hands down to the waist. Let the hands go from there. Exhaling chaturanga. Inhaling upward dog. Exhaling downward dog. And here goes the other side. Pyramid. Inhale, left foot forward. So again, just kind of talking through the steps, the way I'm kind of thinking through these things is I'm taking the position of pyramid that allows me first and foremost to track with belly softening. So I might prop my hands on the block really high or prop my hands on a wall. And the prop is to help me feel that I can shift my sit bones back, that the core can lengthen, the belly softens. And under those conditions, then how does fold go for you? How does fold feel under the conditions of soft belly? That's it. And it may take like 1 or 500 breaths before the abdomen softens. So we don't have to expect that it's this instantaneous command, right? I know for me, when there's a command, I might not heed a command all that quickly. But if it's an inquiry, like, what can start to soften beneath the skin of the belly? What can start to relax and the inside of the spine? Then it gets really interesting and I can start to feel things moving. Here's our ostrich. Bending the left knee. We'll open that right leg back away from the left leg for ostrich, so warrior one. Wiggle, wiggle. Inhaling the chest toward the sky. And exhaling hinge. And releasing the hands down to the waist, let the hand interlacing go. Inhale, we'll step back, exhaling chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhaling downward dog. And when we take our downward dog, step the feet a little further back from the hands than usual. So we have a broader base to our downward dog. And you may even bend the knees a little bit to soften the belly. And when I soften the belly, one of the motions of the pelvis, it may feel like your tail kind of goes up in the air a little more. That is true. And if we want to get really detailed about it, the area around the anus, the perineum, probably relaxed a little bit more. And that is a huge part to working with potential back pain, or as some people perceive it as a quote-unquote tightness. The feeling of tightness can often be addressed by feeling the softness of the perineum, the softness around the genitals, the softness and the resilience around the anus. So by relaxing the belly, that whole pelvic floor can has the potential to become more sensitive by yielding. Final move, last move. Inhale the right knee between the hands for pigeon. And with this pigeon today, I'm grabbing the back foot and folding forward. So my left hand grabs the left ankle, and then I fold down to my right forearm. So we didn't really do any lunges today, but this is it. Now that quad, that top of your left thigh that you might be feeling a lot, can you catch how that's linked to that soft abdomen, the abdominal breathing? Can you feel how there might be a connection there? And maybe the softening of the belly and the breath can talk and relate to that left thigh, to the left knee. Can you feel that left thigh softening away from the abdomen? Or maybe you can feel the abdomen like holding on to the leg, almost like it's sucking the thigh bone into the abdominal cavity. It's a very deep, reflexive move that we have to kind of turtle the thighs in toward the guts. It's a very deeply protective move. And release, inhale, set the foot down, the hands under the shoulders, exhaling, downward dog. We'll just do that one move on the other side. Inhaling the left knee between the hands, pigeon. And this pigeon, the right hand shall grab the right ankle. And release. Inhale. Let the foot down, the hands under the shoulders. Exhaling, downward dog. Last one. And we'll set it down and prepare for Shavasana, or whatever helps you feel some degree of quietude or ability to observe and sense the body post asana, post movement. One of the things that I love about the frequency of practice is that no matter the intensity, the perceived intensity of experience, the frequency seems to develop a different kind of connection muscle. When we arrive on the mat and we go interior and we're moving in sense mode and feeling and orienting, feeling the body yield and release and open and sensitize, my sense is that the body gets really good at moving into those learning mode, receptive mode, sensing mode, inquiry mode, yielding modes more rapidly. Frequency trains something that intensity doesn't always train. So you may notice when you get into a practice on a second day, a third day in a row, there's almost like a quickened response, like the body remembers how to move in these yielding, expanding, sensitized ways. All right, so let's bend the knees. We'll turn to a side and press to whatever seated position you like. I'm thankful to you all. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.